So, guys, let's continue with the next part. So, give me 1 minute. Let me share my screen. So, today's plan is 1 minute, please. Guys, can you give me just 1 minute, please? So, um, so today's guys again plan is to discuss some more few core concepts of the Ansible, right? Okay, and when I say core, a lot of guys in a few of my last classes have discussed a lot of use cases related, demo we have done, right? So we have seen how to integrate with Docker, how to integrate Ansible with HA proxy or load balancer, or how we can integrate Ansible with AWS cloud. And I there also I've given you some extra concept of the Ansible, but today my plan is to talk some more few core concepts of the Ansible that is useful in the area what our we have discussed yet, and plus they also useful in in some of the fewer advanced discussion of the Ansible, guys. Hey, guys, can you please again give me 1 more minute? I am muting myself. Just give me 1 minute, please. So, what exactly, guys, we are going to discuss today? Let me do one thing. Let me directly go to the practicals, right? So, let me spawn my controller node and one of our target node. Okay, so I have one control node and one managed or the target node we have. Okay, sorry. So what exactly we are going to do, there's a lot of small use cases we have to discuss today that will also give you some more vocabulary or the keyword from the Ansible, and it is very useful if you write any kind of simpler or advanced playbook or complex playbook of the Ansible. These are the few concepts we very frequently used. Okay, so one of the main one of the topic that we are going to touch today, that is, for example, guys, till date, what we did. For example, there's, let's say, one more example, one example here, whatever we did till date. For example, let's say this is IP1, and I have to write one playbook or maybe one ad hoc command, and my requirement is to go to this inventory, there's IP1, and we have to configure a web server. And guys, if you talk about the web server, there's a lot of company has their own web server, but here I'm talking about a web server from Apache company or Apache community. Okay, that's what we want. Okay, now if this is your requirement, and I told you guys multiple time, whenever you want to use Ansible, you should know what exactly you would like to configure and why you would like to use config as a management tool. Plus, you should also know the steps. And here the one of the step that we had used till date is to install the software. To install software. And guys, the good thing about the Ansible, and there's a main core, one of the core concept of the Ansible, why if we would like to use the Ansible, because Ansible provide you rel feature. Means they give us the module. And module is the one that makes the Ansible very intelligent. So if you ask the Ansible, do you have any module for software or the package management, they say package is the one of the module we have. Okay, but guys, till date, till date, what exactly we're taking seeing here, we are telling the package module what we want, what we want. Okay, and that's what, guys, the main thing of the Ansible. You have to declare the Ansible what exactly we want. That is the reason it is called DL, or declarative language. Okay, but the main thing here is, the good thing about the Ansible is how to install the software, how to do. Ansible will take care this part for you. Okay, so what I mean by this, you guys know, but this topic will give you some extra I can say the limitation or the difficulties you will see in some of the real environment. Okay, so what you have to do, you tell the package, I want this. How to install package will take care. So it means this package module will go to your Red Hat system, let's say IP1, and they will go here and say, "Hey, who are you? I know you." And how I know you? Because after I reach to you, first of all, the first thing that I always do in your computer, you are my managed node, and before I do before I do something here, I will first explore you. I get some information for you, and you guys know that's called facts. And from the facts, I come to know that you are Red Hat 8. And plus from the facts also, I also come to know who is your package manager. So from the facts, I come to know your package manager, let's say maybe Yum, or maybe DNF, for example. Let's say Yum. So whenever somebody asks me in my controller node to run this playbook on IP1 or inventory one, I will first gather the facts from you, and from here I come to know which command you use behind the scene to install the software. And that's the beauty of that is the beauty of the RHEL, or there's a beauty of the Ansible modules. Okay, and package module will go there and install the software for you. But one difficulty, guys, in some of the use cases you will see in the package module. Okay, and difficulty here is, while you define in your playbook that I have to use package module. Okay, so package module say I will do I can install the software, I will update the software and install uninstall the software for you. But which software you want to install? Okay, because obviously I don't know which software you want. So guys, while writing the package module, you'd always write your software name, let's say HTTPD. Okay, so technically in the Ansible, you have to tell which software you want to store. And it's, guys, but it's but obvious, right? Ansible say I'm intelligent, but technically you have to tell the Ansible what exactly you want from the Ansible. So you tell in your playbook or in ad hoc command that Ansible, I want, please go to IP1 and install this software. Okay, and that's what guys Ansible do for you. So they go to IP and explore the command, finally they find the yum command, and they ask the yum command, can you please help me to install the software called HTTPD? Because this is the software my customer or my user want me to install. So Ansible call yum command, and yum command will install this software for you. So till here, guys, everybody know we have discussed this topic hundreds of times. Okay, but you know what, guys, there's some kind of difficulties you'll face. And one of the good example is, right, one of the good example is, if you are looking to install Apache web server. Okay, and this web server you want, you need to install the software. Okay, but the biggest challenge is same company Apache have providing a software for web server. Okay, and the software now for the web server is HTTPD if you are using Red Hat. But in your company, okay, if you have a different operating system, let's say Ubuntu, Ubuntu. So Apache company or the community also providing a software for the Ubuntu operating system, or I can say it's exactly same software with same kind of configuration, right? But the challenge in over here is for the Ubuntu, they provide same software with same features and same configuration file and or whatever we have discussed till date. Everything they have the same, but the the big challenge is right. The software name for the Ubuntu is not HTTPD. The name of the software is called Apache 2. This is the software name. Why they do this, there might be some reason, but same company, same software, but for the Red Hat different name, for Ubuntu we have different name, or maybe for Windows, you guys, if you know WAMP or WAMP is not actually like a core same tool, but something like this you can think. So same software but come with the different names. Okay, now here we have challenge. Right, why we are using Ansible? Because Ansible is intelligent, they work in this kind of different OS environment, I can say a different heterogeneous environment. Okay, and the cool thing about the Ansible is right, if you run the same playbook same playbook against the Ubuntu, Ansible will say, hey, I know you, you are Ubuntu, and I've scanned you, I gather all the facts from you, and I know you are Ubuntu. And I know in the Ubuntu the command is apt or apt-get to install the software. So I will call this command, like in Red Hat we call yum command, here I call this command and to install the software. But here the challenge here is right, because we have to write a playbook only once, and one task we have to write, and then I want this task to be so intelligent. Same task can run in your Red Hat, and same task can also run in Ubuntu. It means if I take this task and ask Ubuntu to install this software, so technically, as an Ansible perspective, they will go to Ubuntu, they will call the actual command, but they ask the actual command to install this software. Ask the actual command to install this software, but in Ubuntu, this software is not available. Okay, so technically here Ansible won't help you. But Ansible say my duty is to do whatever you want, but this is not my duty to find out the different name of the software. It is something like this. It's something like this. If you tell to the Ansible to install media player, so Ansible say, I will install the media player for you. I will go to Red Hat to call yum command, or go to Windows to call chocolate or chocolate choco command. That's what I can do for you, because I'm a abstract resource abstraction layer, means I'll call the OS specific command. You don't have to learn all the command of all the OS. Okay, but if you say to install the media player, I don't know which media player you were talking about. Maybe Red Hat might come up with a AMP player, Ubuntu might come with a VLC player, Windows might come with a window media player. So which software you want me to install? Okay, that's also guys you have to tell, right? Because what you want, okay, it should be always the part of your playbook. But here the challenge is, in the Red Hat the software name is different, and in Ubuntu name is different. So that's also guys you have to tell in your playbook. So now in a playbook, task would be only one. Step will be always one. Guys, you can think step is equal to task, and task is equal to module. So step, module, task would be one, and that is package module. But in the package module, we have to write something like this. Okay, and it's but obvious guys, if you guys ever work in any of the programming language, so it is something like this. So so we can tell in my playbook that I would like to install a package, but I have two different software name. One is HTTPD and one is Apache 2. So I want to install this software only if if the OS name is Red Hat. And I would like to install this software only if this OS name OS name is Ubuntu. Or maybe I want to install the other software, maybe WAMP or exam, if the OS name is Windows or something like this. So technically it look but always right. It look but always we have to write a certain conditions here. Conditions here. And guys, normally in other programming language, we write a condition with if or else, if or switch and cases, or if or else, something like this. But in the Ansible, we don't use if or else or switches and cases. They make this thing little more simpler. more simpler. It is like a human language. So Ansible say you can tell in my playbook, install the software HTTPD when the OS is Red Hat, or install the software Apache 2 when the OS is Ubuntu, is something like this. So guys, here we have to write a condition, but in the condition we don't have a keyword called if. Instead of the if we have a keyword called when. So my code would be look something like this. I would have to do something on the package, and the name of the package is HTTPD. But I want this software to be installed when my OS is equals to Red Hat. Okay, something this kind of syntax or the playbook we have to write today. And the keyword for the conditions in the Ansible is the when keyword. Okay, so guys, let me show you this demo how we can do this. Okay, but for this, right, how your playbook come to know which OS they are running on? You can write a condition, I want Red Hat, I want Ubuntu. Okay, but how they find your OS name? Second, guys, here the role of facts come in play. Facts come in play. Like I told you guys, whenever you run the playbook, first of all, they always go to this OS, gather all the information, store all the information in one variable called Ansible underscore facts, and send you back in some variable. So we go to that particular variable and ask, wherever you're gone to IP1, can you please tell something more about that IP? Can you please tell me the OS name? So they will tell you OS name. And what are guys OS name they tell you? Right? You can store that OS name in some variable as a OS name. Okay, and this OS name variable will contain your OS of that point in time. Maybe Red Hat 7, 8, or maybe Ubuntu, and you can use this OS name variable over here in the condition. If this OS name is Red Hat, do this. Otherwise, don't do this. Something like this. Let me show guys. Let me show you this as a demo. So this is my managed node. By chance we know, this is Red Hat. Okay, but maybe there might be possibility. We might don't know the target node, managed node, or maybe we have some kind of heterogeneous environment. Some of the computer may be Ubuntu, some of the computer maybe maybe Red Hat. But by chance, I know this is Red Hat. Okay, this IP 155, sorry. So I want 155 would be my target node. So we have to set the inventory. You guys know those things. So I'm doing a little bit quicker this part. So I'll go to my this file, and IP 155 is my inventory. A good thing is 155 is a part of all, or we can use 155 directly. And good thing is 155 by chance the part of my host group called my web. So we can directly use this host group name called my web. So let me create one separate folder over here. Okay, and going to write a similar kind of playbook. But here I write my host would be IP 155 or my web. Okay, but maybe guys, this my web host contain a lot of IP 155, 156, 157, and some of the IP maybe Ubuntu, and some of the IP maybe Red Hat. So I would like to deal a situation that a lot of IPs we have in one single group, and our intention to configure all the IP in this group as an Apache web server. And according to our knowledge of Apache web server, because I told you guys, if you don't have the knowledge of that particular configuration products or the platform, it is impossible to work in any of the automation tool. So let's say we have the knowledge that in the Ubuntu the software name is different, and Red Hat the software name is different. So I'll go and create a playbook that work on only in these IPs. Okay, and my task is to install package. And by chance we know the package tilde. That's called HTTPD. So tilde guys, this code always work because tilde guys, I always run my playbook against the Red Hat, and Red Hat has this software available. But by chance, if you have one computer that is Ubuntu, and if you try to run against the Ubuntu, it will fail. It will fail. Okay. So what you have to do here, okay, or if by chance if you run this playbook against Ubuntu, they fail. Or if you run Apache 2 as a product, so if you run this playbook against the Ubuntu, it will work. But if you run this playbook against the Red Hat, it will fail because Red Hat doesn't has this software. Okay. So company name is same, product is same, software name is different. And this is guys one of the example. But you'll see some other example in some other way. Maybe in some ways, same thing you want to do, but both the OS have different file names. Is you have maybe three different OS, same thing you want to do, but all the OS you look at different port number. So multiple different kind of this kind of situations come up. Okay. Or maybe same thing you want to configure, but one OS you have different version of the software, other OS you want to use different version of the software. One of the good example would be if you guys know environments, test environment, production environment, and QA environment, something like this. So I have some example of this in my future class. I will see that how we can tackle the multi uh, environment deployments. We'll see in the future classes. So let's guys just tackle this this problem over here. Okay, so let's say I would like to install this software, but now I know because we have a heterogeneous environment. So what can we say here? We say we only want to run this task only if when the OS name is equals to Red Hat. So I want my OS name to be Red Hat only. So this is my string. So I want my OS equal to Red Hat. But how you get the value of the OS? So you guys know whenever you run the playbook, this playbook will always go to this IP address. Means in my case, IP address 155, 155, right? And they store the information facts and they send to you. Okay, and where they send in some variable. And if you want to see all the name of the variable, so you can ask Ansible module call. If you go to IP 155 manually and ask the module call setup, they will show you all the variables names here. You guys know this. So they all store all the things in this variable called Ansible underscore facts. We know this part. But here, guys, they have multiple keys and the values, and I'm looking for the variable name where they store the name of the OS. So let me search here and search here. By chance, we know the OS name is Red Hat. Let me search with the name of Red Hat. You might find faster. So they store, guys, the OS name inside the variable called Ansible distribution. Ansible distribution here. It means this is the variable they use. Okay. So what can I do here? What can I do here? In my code, I can create one extra variables here. And let's say variable name is X. And instead, I store Red Hat as a fix here. Okay. If you know your OS, you always Red Hat, that's nice. And you can pass this variable directly here. And okay, you can think when is like if condition. So if this is equal to this, it's true. And if this condition is true, run this task. And guys, by chance, we can see very clearly, okay, the variable X has this value. And this, if you compare, guys, this by this, it is equal and condition true, condition true, I will run this task. So let me guys show you this example to run after we run. Even though you guys see here, they will first always go and get all the information here. Guys, if you see here, they run this task successfully. There is no challenge come up. But guys, this code is not good actually, because I hard coded updated in my code that my OS name is always Red Hat. And there's a challenge here. We don't know the OS name, OS name, right? Okay, if you already know the OS name, why we have to write the condition? We can directly write the software name. So challenge here is actually we don't know the OS name. Okay, so that is the reason we have to take the help from Ansible fact. So we can go for Ansible underscore facts and say you have one variable called Ansible underscore distribution. And how I know this, we have found this thing from the setup module. So yeah, okay. So I'll say answer facts. Okay. While running this playbook, all right, you have a lot of variables or key. I want please go and use this key. Okay. And the value of this key, maybe in this case, maybe Red Hat or Ubuntu, I don't know, is stored in the X. So this X I can use somewhere, or it's good practice, guys. Rather than use the X, I can use OS underscore name or name kind of variable here. Or let me use OS underscore name. So I can use some of my task here by checking the condition. If it is true, they can install the software. So guys, let me try this. Now, if you see here, there's no error, but this might be the first time you'll see one small change here. Okay, till date, guys, we always see the color in green, red, and orange, and we always see the message fatal error or okay. This time we'll see a different color, and the message called skip it. You know what they're talking about? They're talking about we run this code, we run the when close, and what we found, guys, this variable value is not equals to Red Hat. So this condition is not equal. And guys, whenever the condition is not equal, behind the scene they give the output called false in the boolean. And when the boolean false come up in the when, they don't run this code. And in this case, they will always skip your task. And why the guys they skip? Because by chance we know this OS is with this OS is Red Hat. So they should match, right? So guys, one of the reason here is because uh, here in the Ansible, these strings or the values are cache sensitive. Means if you again go to setup module and again see the value Ansible distribution over here of just for Red Hat, you can see the key name is Ansible distribution that I used, but the value of that guy is Red Hat again that I used, but here R and H in capital letter, so they are cache sensitive. So whatever we compare, guys, what I retrieve from the facts is Red Hat with R as capital, and whatever the compare with R and H in small case. So technically you have to compare with the same cache sensitive things. Now they here they can compare it very properly. Okay, so if I run this code, sorry, again, you can see the same output whatever we have seen till date. But now this code become a little bit more intelligent. Again they skip. Why they skip? Format. Maybe I use OS name equals to this one, and it shouldn't skip, right? It shouldn't skip. Ansible underscore. Guys, I very highly recommend, guys, the best way to find out the challenge is to debug the code. And the best way to debug the code in any of the programming language is to print the thing. And that might be reason, guys, in the Ansible, if you want to print something, sorry, okay, they have a module name called debug. I think you guys know this. We have used multiple times. So I'm asking my debug variable that I have to print some variable. And because your requirement is to print some variable, you can use a keyword called var. And by chance, my variable name is this one. So let's see what output they print actually. Maybe I have might written some wrong spelling here, or maybe the output of this variable might not be the string, they might be list. Maybe. Okay, so so guys, in the debug module, if you in my last class, if you remember by chance, in my last class I used debug module and I use a keyword called message. From message also, guys, we can print the variable. But difference between the var keyword and the message keyword or attribute in the debug is if you use message keyword, then you have to use a string, hi, hello, something. or because you have to use string, and if you need to install or if you need to use variable, let's say variable name called os underscore name, this variable, or you guys know facts is also one kind of variables. So inside the string, if you want to use a variable, then you have to use a ginger v, this one curly braces. But if you want to use a variable, or maybe facts is also variable, outside the string, then you don't have to use this concept of curly braces. It means inside the string, if you want to use a variable, so to tell the Ansible that this is the variable, that is the reason we have to use curly braces. And this process is called string interpolation. This word I have already given to you. But if it's not a sorry, if it is not a string, if you want to directly use a variable, you can use this way also. Okay, but if you directly want to use variable in the debug module, okay, and you don't have any string to use, or you don't have any double quote to use, okay, then you don't need a message as a keyword. You can directly use where also. So guys, let me show you this demo first about debug, then we'll come to this topic again. Okay, and for a minute to make it a little bit simpler, let me use x as a variable, and maybe use let me use Jack as a name, or let me print here x, and also here x. Okay, so debug is to use to print. You guys know I'm printing this variable x, and I'm also printing the same variable, but this variable you want to print inside the string. You do write this ginger. Okay, just for testing, I'm just printing here. So it is very clear. They print this guy also, or then they print this guy also. Okay, so there's two way to print with the debug module. Okay, now let me use this one. So if you want to print the x, or you want to print OS name, is again the variable, and the value of OS name come from this guy. Okay, so let me print this. Let's see what happened, what come up. Okay, so if you see guys here, if you see here, this is the challenge. What we was expecting, we are expecting the value of this guy should be the red hat. Okay, but what they print actually, they print exactly the same. Why they print exactly the same? Let me check. Maybe guys, normally in the variable you have to pass string, and normally in the variable if you pass the string, you have to put in the what do you say, ginger. This might be reason, I believe. Let me check again one more time. So I think this is the this is the case. Okay, but again they fail because they have done something for us. But why they fail? Because I think there is one more thing here. I told you in my Ansible facts class. If this is a key, you have to put the key inside the single quote or the double quote. Okay, this is the again one of the reason, I believe. Let me check. This is not the case. Maybe my spelling might be wrong. It's not wrong. Maybe what is challenge? Show you. Okay, the challenge guys here is this error is not clear. Okay, yeah, they say this has no attribute available. Means what they're doing something for us. That's a good thing. Last time they're not doing, they're just they are just using it as a string. But now actually they're doing something for you, and now they're trying to tell you that Ansible underscore distribution name key is not available. Technically is available. I show you already with the setup module. Why is not available? Because I told you guys in the latest version of the Ansible, okay, if you use the key inside the facts, in the playbook, you don't have to use the full name. You have to remove the initial prefix here. You have to use after Ansible underscore the last name. I told you guys this part in my Ansible facts classes. Okay, now let me run this again. And now it looked good. Finally, I printed the value of my facts. Red hat come up. That you guys know already. We discussed already. But this part also guys working up. That's okay. Means something they've done. In my playbook, I first gather the name of my OS, or I can say distribution, and store in this variable. By chance, we know this is Red Hat. Then we run first task. This first task, guys, check this condition. Okay, and this condition say what you're looking for is equal, you're true, so we run your package. Or because we run your package, this reason green color come up, or maybe orange color come up, and we say okay. I mean, they say you are Red Hat, and because you are Red Hat, I'm going to install the software with yum command. And by chance the software is already there, so they show you green color. But the good thing is, guys, here maybe in my case I have a group called MyWeb, or in my web we have multiple IP, and if one of the IP is Ubuntu, Ubuntu, and if you run the playbook, this playbook against the Ubuntu, this task will run, but after the check, you are Ubuntu, you are not Red Hat, they will skip this task, and they go to the next task. And guys, in the next task, what can I do? I can write the same task again. Okay, and here I can give a software name called Apache 2. And here I can give the OS name, let's say Ubuntu. Or normally, guys, Ubuntu work with a distribution called Debian. So maybe I can use Debian also, same thing. Or maybe Ubuntu you can use also. Or whatever guys key they store the name of the Ubuntu. Now what happened, guys? Now we have two tasks doing same thing, installing the web server software. But now, guys, this task is intelligent. What this task do? They check if you are Ubuntu Red Hat, then all I install this software. But if I Ubuntu, I don't install this software. I go to next task. I skip this task. I check that I'm Ubuntu or Debian. Yes, so I will install this software. But if you're Red Hat, they skip this task. So what you will see, guys, here, I have 3 tasks in totality. The package task, this package task, and by chance this is a print or debug task. But because we know we are Red Hat, we'll see this task will run and this task will skip. So let me run again. So what do you see, guys, here? This task run because we know this Red Hat, and this task skip because we asked them if you're not Red Hat, skip this task because it doesn't support on your system. There will be a lot of functionality, guys. It's not supported. Maybe there are Linux distribution. For example, if you go to Red Hat, so for Red Hat, we have some kind of advanced security called Mac. So they have a SE Linux support. But same Mac level of security you want to implement in Ubuntu or Debian, they don't have SE Linux. They have a different kind of security module available for this. Logic are same concept, same final requirement or outcome use case, but different OS to OS. The entire software name is different. Okay, that's the main thing. Okay, and because software name is different, so obviously Ansible always asks, because I'm the declarative language, you declare a software name which you want. I'm going to help you only for one thing, to install the software, but you have to declare me which software you want. So guys, this kind of declaration you do require, and here when keyword will help you. So guys, this is one of the example. A lot of the guys in the real playbooks, you have to use these kind of examples a lot. Okay. So one minute, guys, let me open your Google Drive to run this code. Okay, guys, let me give you some more examples here. But guys, for this example, let me give some extra concept that will help you to understand that example. For example, guys, you know one thing here, that you can run the Ansible directly from your command line. You guys know this ad hoc command. And you guys also know one module called command module. And the command module can guys run any of the command. Let's say I'm going to run a date command. So you go to this IP and run the date command. Okay, and output come up. But interesting thing guys over here is if you run an command module from the ad hoc, means from the command line, they will run this command on your remote system, means IP 155. Plus they also print the output of this command like read command. They will print the output of cal command. They will do all the things for you. They print the output also. But same thing if you do in the playbook, they will do the thing for you. They will run the command on the remote system, but they won't print the output here. They won't print the output in the script. So if you run any module in the playbook, okay, they squeeze the output. Here they only show you one thing, or run or don't run or skip. That's all. Entire output of package module or entire output of the command module, this they hide from us, because normally in the real world you run hundreds thousand tasks, it become a lot of look very much uh, overwhelming, or this makes not much sense sometime to print all the output here. So this is a by default nature of of the Ansible. Okay, and guys, how to do this, I think I have shown you in my few class back this concept, where I, while running the playbook, I can run my playbook with the verbose. This is one of the way we can do. Okay, in my some of my classes I have discussed to you already. Guys, you give me one minute please. Give me one minute please. So let me create a doc so I can share these command to you so you won't miss. So today is 10th of December. Okay, so this part guys I had already discussed in my in my last class, and there I give one solution also. For example, c.yml I have created and I'm going to run one task. Again, the host called, let's say, IP address 155 and my task is the command module. It's called command module, and the command module I asked them to run the date command. Same thing I did my command line. But guys, if you're doing the same thing in the playbook, and this is by default nature of the playbook, any task you run in the playbook, they run the task, they run the module, but they they hide the output. So they run here, that's when we see change, change, but they hide the output. There's no output come up with my date and the cal command. But if you want to see the output, I show you guys in my last few classes back, you can use a verbose here to see the output of the task that has been hide. So this is one of the way. So you can see the output, one of the way. But this way sometimes might not be useful. Okay, one of the example. Let me tell you one example where this verbose might not useful. For example, there might be a lot of examples come up like this, right? And very common requirement. For example, what I want, I'm asking the Ansible to to run this playbook. Okay, in the playbook, run this task, and this task, let's say command module task, and here I'm asking to run the date command. And now my requirement is, guys, maybe this is the date is one of the simplest command, but there might be some command where I ask my task to run it, or command module to run it. And guys, mostly any of the command you run or module you run, I can say, okay, behind the scene, they give you an output called return code. And I told you guys in my last class, 0 means successful, or any other number come cold field. Okay, and most of module guys, they give you the key called change or the true. Change means you ask me to run the command module, and what you ask me, I've done for you. I run for you. Like for example, you run the module called package. You asked me to install HTTPD, and because HTTPD was not installed there, so I installed there. So you can see change to. But HTTPD was already installed there, so they go for idempotence, and you will see it falls. Okay, so technically, whenever you guys run any task, any task, behind the scene, they give you lots of information about this task. They fail, they change, they return code, success, failure, and lots of other output they also give you that may be so much useful. Very, very, one more guys, very common example I just want to show you so it will make more sense to understand the next part. But let me use my the last module. So for example, if I run this playbook of web, like here this playbook is installing HTTP software. Because I'm using playbook, I'm using playbook here. So this playbook guys saying this task is okay means everything good. And this green color we know because of the idempotence they see 155 is already installed with HTTP, so they don't reinstall the software for us. That's a good thing. But it is not visual, we know by chance, but this information is not so much clear, or maybe there might be some more information guys they want to tell you. So I can say I can use a verbose method here. But what I'm trying to tell you guys today, verbose is a good option to see the output in detail or a little bit in detail while running these guys. What I mean by this, just give me 2 minutes, I will explain it. So what verbose is giving you here about this task, that what you ask me, I am giving you one key called change and my value is false. False doesn't mean I fail. Okay, false means you ask me to install the software, I don't install. Because I've seen the software is already installed there, so I don't install. That's a good thing. This means they have a facility of idempotence. Or by chance, guys, by chance, it is a wish of this the developer of the package module. They also give you one key called RC. Zero means the this task is successful. Or somebody might give you some other key and value. It's vary from module to module. Now the important point over here is, so if you want to see this information, you can use -v while running this code. So I can say on runtime or while running, you can see this output. But guys, this output may be sometime useful while running. But most of the time, guys, this information is very much useful while writing the code. What I mean by this? Okay, I mean here, you know what I want? I want to run the read command. This is one of my tasks. And then after this, I have one more task. One more task. Let's say the task may be a package task. And I would like to install some software here. And you can run the task here to install the software, not big deal. But my point here is I would like to run this task only if when this task was successful. Or I would like to run this task only if when last task changed true. Or maybe I will run this task only if when my last task is changed false. Okay, so this kind of guys requirement we have. So technically what I'm talking about, whenever you write multiple tasks, all the tasks are independent. Let me show you one more thing here. Let me use a task called debug. Debug is just for printing, but it's a task actually. And let me print some message here, and message is hi test something. Okay, so command is a different task, debug is a different task. Okay, so technically this task change or this task doesn't change. This task will is always independent. They always run the way they run. So this is a different task or this is a different task. Very quickly, if I run here and say my playbook, this one. But my requirement is, okay, and this is very common requirement. I want I want to run this task only if only if when this task run, or this task change or don't change. So maybe any kind of requirement. Okay, and guys, this is only possible this is only possible. This can be possible just by using the verbose. Means if you use the verbose, you can visualize this, but you can't use this thing in the code. What I mean by this, for example, if I run this my code in playbook in the verbose, I can see as a human being this task change. But how can I apply this task internal information on this task? Okay, so what I would like to do again in this task debug, I would like to write a condition when close. But the challenge here is, okay, when need to compare, and for comparison we need information. And till date, guys, in the when, if or else, or I can say when here, we get the output some variable or we get the output some facts here. But here I want to get the output of from the other task. That is my requirement. Maybe output of RC as a key, or maybe output change as a key, or maybe I can use a word called attribute here as a true. Okay. So that's what, guys, my requirement is. So my requirement is very clear and very much useful. A lot of few advanced practical you will see and we will also use in this class is would be depend on this particular concept. So I want to tell my debug module, debug module, right? You run your task only if means when close, when this change equals to 2, or maybe change equals to false. But where this value come from? This value come from this task and the output of this task. That's main thing. Output this task. Okay. So how we can do this? Okay. For doing this, you should know one more small thing that you know already. Whenever you run the playbook, your playbook never show you the output of the task. They hide. But they have, they hide. And we know they have because we know the verbose command. It means Mindset playbook actually know the output of all the module, whatever they run. They know. Or because they know, so what can we do? So there are a lot of, guys, one interesting thing in the Ansible is, is whenever you run any task, command or debugger package, right? This task, this task, okay, after they complete, they they give you the entire output. What can we do? We can register the entire output in one variable, let's say X. Okay, guys, here the use of register variable or key come in play. So by chance, guys, register is not part of the command module. It is a common key confirm task. That is the reason, guys, I use register with the same intent of my task called command. And register is not only for command. I can use the register for register with all the module we use till date. My package, services, firewall, command, debug. We can use register key everywhere. But what use of register? I'm telling my Ansible by the register, Ansible, you are going to run this command, and finally this command or task or module give you some output, and I want I want entire output. Till date you not storing anywhere, but I want entire output stored in one variable called X. And now what is X will contain? We can see this. How can we can see? We can use just print the X to see what X contain. So let me use my where keyword to print the X. Okay. So what you will see, what X contain? X contain the entire output of my task command, or maybe my task package, whatever you want to use. So let me run my playbook again. And guys, this time notice, guys, I am running this playbook without the verbose. And guys, without the verbose, they always hide the output. But this time you'll see some difference. This time, guys, you see some difference. The difference is while running the playbook, this task to run, behind the scene, this task give the output. Ansible never print the output, but this time Ansible stored the entire output in one variable called X. And finally, you see here, we ask debug module to print the value of X. And what the value content, they print everything of my debug of my command module. And guys, if you see here in the command module, we asked to run the date command. And here they run, and they also show you they they run, they start at this point in time, they end at this point in time. This is very useful, guys. Some of the tasks you run in the Ansible, this task maybe take 1 hour, 2 hour. So from the start to end, we come to know how much time they consume, and accordingly we take some further decision, and we can say if this some task consume more than 1 hour, more than 1 hour, we'll do this thing, otherwise we'll do this thing. Or we send the mail, we don't send the mail, something like this. Okay, plus they also mention here change to means they run for you. RC0 means there's no error. Now what can we do here? Okay, because we know by chance by chance command module give you these keys, and by chance they give you RC as a key. Technically we don't never know the value. This value might be 0, or maybe some other number, maybe 127 for example. So if 0 come up is successful, any other number come up means fail. So what can we do here? What can we do here? Now we can use the output of the command module or task and control other tasks. It's something like this. So we can text this, tell this task and say, you have to run this task only if, only if, okay, when RC value is equals to 0. And from this, from where the RC key come from? This RC key come from X variable. So I can say X dot RC. Okay, before I explain this this particular line, this dot, let me tell you one more concept here. So when I again run guys this playbook, same output come up. Same output come up. And if you see guys, this entire value is stored in a variable called key. Or you can think this key is like a array. Okay, array. And inside this array, this is the entire value. But by chance, RC is also one kind of variable here that has this value. So if you have a requirement not to print the entire value of the X, if you just want to print this value or this value, or you want to use only this value or only this value, you can say X. Inside your X, you have one variable or one key called RC. So please go there and retrieve that value. This is the same concept I explained in my Ansible facts also. So for this, you have to use X. I would have to use only this value. So you have to use a syntax called X dot RC or X dot and or X dot changed, which is the value you want to use. Okay. So that's why I'm going to show you here. So I'm asking not to print everything, just use print RC. That's all. And if I run this playbook again, this time they also print, okay, the value of X, but only the value of RC. So think guys, this is a variable and this is a value. Okay. And this value guys actually come from this task. This value guys we haven't set yet. Okay, this value is not come from facts or coming from not coming from other variables. This value is coming from a different task, and this task output we printed here. So we can print or we can use in my conditions also. So it is something like this. We can write the condition like this. Okay. Now this condition is very clear. Okay. So I'm controlling this task, maybe my service module or maybe my my firewall module. And what we are controlling, we have to run this task only if when this task is true. And when this true, when this task run successful. Because RC means written code of this guy, and 0 means success. Okay, so when I now guys, if I run this code, you see that because guys this task was successful, that is the reason this will print or this will run. But if I little bit change my code, let's say I said not equals to, means you have to only run this task when this is not equal. And guys, when this is not equal, when RC value X is not 0. And when it's not 0, when this X dot RC means this command or this task fail. But by the way, guys, here in this case, it won't fail, or because it won't fail. So what you will see here, or what you will see here, you can see now this time this task skip. Because this time this task say I'm dependent on this task, and this task run successful, so I don't have to install or run this task. So they will like, guys, the lot of difference like this. A lot of example you will see in the future. Okay, where you have to write one playbook, but in the playbook you write a lot of tasks. Some of the tasks you keep on running, but you don't want to run all the tasks, right? You want this task only run if this is fast, and this task only run if this is fail. Multiple conditions you can write it. Okay, so accordingly, guys, you can also plan. So here, guys, the use of a register keyword is very much useful. But again, I'm repeating, guys, not all the module okay give you RC as a key name. Is depend on the module to module. For example, for example, if I use a service module, it's also a module, right? And some service, let's say I'm going to use a service called HTTPD. Or my requirement is to start the service. Start the service. Let's say service to be started. Okay, and guys, again, they won't print the output of this service task, so I can register the output in a variable called, let's say, y. Right here also, this is also one of the way to directly create the variable. You don't have to use var keyword. So why variable will create entire output of this service task. Output means after they run, they store here. And if you're interested in to see the output of y, you can print here. So what it will tell you, the developer who created this module. So in the final, when they want to print the output of this module, what keys they print or they use. Maybe they use RC, maybe they might not use RC. I don't know. Let's check. Let's see. Let's see. We see here. So well, here lots of keys they print, very much useful in some of the advanced configuration if you want to do an HTTP, right? But if you go up and up, right? So here they give you mean mean keys here. They say in Y, one of the output they print is changed false. Means they try to run the service, but they won't run it because it means they already seen the service running because of idempotence. And instead of RC, instead of RC, they have give a key called failed. Okay, and the value of failed is false. And guys, means if if I say to you, if you ask me, does it fail? I say no, it's not failed. That's what they're talking about. So does this task fail? False is not equals to true. It means the task is not failed. It's good. This means task is run successfully. So by chance, guys, this task don't have RC as a key. Maybe they might have, or maybe just go to R and see they have RC. I don't think so, but maybe no, they don't have. But we have other key available. So most of the task has a RC, means written code as a key, and most of guys have field as a key. There are two main key normally most of the modules have. But how I remember, you don't have to remember. Just go and print the way I did, and just go and check which key they have. If you want to check this task is run successful or not, accordingly you can write this condition here. So again, I can do in this way. If this service runs successfully, then I can implement the firewall. Or if my run successfully, maybe you have some kind of test cases. I will run my test cases. Or maybe for the package, if my package runs successful, guys, because you guys know if package is not installed successful, there is no meaning to start the service. Because without installing the software, right, your service won't start. So you can you can run your code in this way. So very quickly, guys, if I create some more code here to tell, or maybe guys you can create now. I don't want to waste your time. Okay, you can write a package module, install a variable, in the service module start service. But now you can write when close. I'll tell the service module, okay, if start the service only if when the package installed, otherwise skip. Okay, so this also you can do. Okay, or maybe you have some config file, and the config file you guys configuring some port number. So if this starts successful, then we ask my firewall to write the rule for this module. or maybe we can add multiple conditions. For example, I'm asking my debug module, okay, to to print some message, let's say final message. Okay, but here I want to test multiple conditions. My condition is, if this task is successful, means x.rc is equals to 0, x.rc is equal to 0, and this software is installed successfully. Means y.fail, I told you guys, failed message equals to false. If this condition also true, and if this condition is also true, and both the condition true, then only run this. Means this is also true, and this is also true. Sorry, this is also true, and if this is also true, both the things are true, then only run this task. Otherwise, don't run. So guys, normally guys, in our programming world, we use a concept called AND operation. So guys, this is a way to write the AND. So let me show you here. And understand one interesting thing, right? If you talk about the when clause, when clause guys require when clause guys require boolean, true or false. Okay, maybe some of the let me comment this line again. 1 minute. Maybe some of the key you already had that has a pre boolean output. What I mean by this, maybe this example might have. Well, let me check. Maybe this example might have. Okay. Yeah, they have. So output of failed is false. And guys, if you notice here, output of state is started. And because started output is between the double quotes, it means this is string. But output of change of fail is not between the double quotes or single quote. It means it means the predefined keyword. And whenever you have predefined keyword false or true, it means boolean. And when is a keyword like if they only need boolean, maybe true or false. Or because we are directly giving the boolean boolean with a failed keyword, that is a reason that is the reason guys, we don't have to use double quotes here. Okay, we don't have to use double quotes here. Okay, because I'm telling this guy this output that we get from the y in the field key is boolean, and boolean we can compare with boolean. But if you write in the double quotes, it won't compare, because this is false, this is also false, but this is string, this is a boolean, and boolean of string we can't compare. So thus guys, yeah, small things better. Right, not in Ansible, in other programming language also, because these are core concepts of the language. But technically, okay, this is one of the tasks. Here I'm just using as a print, but maybe most important task. But this task may be a mailing task. You want to mail something, or maybe this task may be some kind of orchestration task of Kubernetes. You want to run something in the Kubernetes, but the condition is condition is, if these two tasks run successful, then only I will have to run this task of Kubernetes, or maybe cloud, or maybe something like this. Okay, so I write multiple conditions and, or maybe we can use or here. This would be your choice. So if I run this code, so there are multiple tasks and all the tasks run successful. I retrieve the value of those tasks, and finally I run one more task and say, we can use. Sorry guys, as when is not the part. Guys, when is never, or register is never the part of your module. They always the keyword from the task. So they have to indent with respect to task. This one, this one, this one. But if you write when, indent with with respect to module, with the same element of the module module attributes, it won't work. So the small thing to take in mind. So there should be same indent as your module. Okay. But this is the error come up, invalid option. Now, what you'll see, they say the condition check. Okay, something I check, multiple things I check, and error was error was. I think I have used wrong keyword for the and. I think this is not the one. I think and is a keyword. I believe and is a keyword here, or maybe language to language thing vary. Maybe there might be different keyword here. Different keyword here. Okay, so we can go to document of the Ansible and check there. But let me check and also because guys are working in multiple language together, right? So sometime while typing the code, I misplaced this keyword. I think and is the right. Okay, so now it's run finally. Output come up. And why they come up? Why they come up? Because this and this condition right. And why they write is not a normal variable. It's coming from this task and this task. Because both the tasks run successful, then only this condition right. Or like and let me share this code to you. You can use or also. Or you guys know if one of the tasks runs successful, run it. But oh, both the tasks run fail, don't run this. So you can use or keyword also. So one of the tasks run or both the tasks run successful, run this particular module. So guys, this is the way you can control one task from other task or one task from multiple tasks or any kind of combination you can try. Okay, it's one of the things. But here guys, if you add some more advanced concept called exception handling or error controlling, we can achieve some more thing. What I mean by this, I'll take this topic tomorrow. Okay, plus how to check the condition the way I explained Apache 2 or S3 pretty. Those things also you can do. So multiple guys you can concept plug together and create some kind of complex code, or it's not complex, but I can say some kind of useful code that might be helpful for us. Intention guys here is not an Ansible. Intention is not about writing the playbook or intelligence. Intention is I have to write a code in such a way that it automate almost all of your tasks without changing the things. Okay, because it's a very common thing. I write task today, it might fail in the future. Maybe it's due to some reason. Maybe maybe write IP 151 is some version of Red Hat working. Maybe some of the version of kernel or some patches come up, some security patches come up, and that time some part might not work. Okay, so we have to think in all the angles and create a playbook in such a way that what if something fail, then what to do? Should we go for other version? Should we go for contact to admin by sending the mail, or maybe do something else, or spawn one more OS instead of 155 in the cloud AWS? What I did yesterday and set up the entire setup from the scratch, and the new IP come up of that IP, I will update to my load balancer the way we did. So multiple different angles we can think and set up the requirement. Okay, so this topic SS not completely completed. There's some more discussion we have, and we'll do some more discussion while discussing the error handling, or I can say exception handling. This might be the tomorrow topic. So that's all guys for today. Any queries if you have? Okay, you can guys ask me. So any query if you have, you can ask me. Vinit, yes, this is a great approach you have done. You use the same approach while uh, installing AW instance, and you store. So, guys, somebody has done one thing. The task I had given yesterday. So they run the issue to instance module the way I did yesterday, and register all the output available code register in some variable. But in his case, okay, they print using debug. But in the debug, what we are looking for the IP of the AWS instance called public IP. And this guy has seen none. And he's right. So why that is none? Again, this is the second challenge you have. So if somebody reached till here, the task that I have given yesterday, so why the IP public IP come none? Because if you don't know public IP, I won't able to get the IP of AWS cloud instance, and then how I configure. So the guy, this is the task I'm referring to my yesterday class. Okay, so somebody asked me this query. So technically, this is your challenge. You have to try. Okay, I will give you the answer. Don't worry, but you have to try. So somebody asked me how we come to know the module has RC keyword or something else. I told you, Piyush, already. We don't know, and we don't have to know actually. I say in this way. Maybe if you go to Ansible document, there they might have you given you, but you don't have to know. Just store the output of the task in one variable and print it initially. While printing, they give you the answer, right? Which all the keyword they support. That's all. Pretty simple, right? So so Ajay, you asked me something about denetting. Please, if you can ask me in my AWS class, that makes more sense. Sandeep, yes, you can also use notify or handler, but that is a different use case they solve. So maybe by tomorrow class, I will, Sandeep, I cover notify or handler. Then if you want, I can compare this topic with the notify handler, right? So, and notify and handler is for different use case. Okay. So I'll explain it tomorrow. How can we understand any concept very clearly? First of all, don't focus iOS much to understand every concept in one go. Nobody can understand, right? Just try to understand as much you get. You take this code, try to run it, and after having multiple example, right, you slowly automatic you are able to understand those concepts. You will see in future classes. In some time, you will see that difference. By the help of register keyword, can we solve the problem HTTP state? Saswant, which problem you're talking about? What I mean by HTTP state? I think you're talking about HTTP restart service. Yes. Answer is yes, Saswant, you can solve. But the better way, I'll show you tomorrow with the keyword called handler and the notify. Uh, for this particular example of HTTP service state, I think you're talking about restart, right? So better way would be notify or handler. I will talk tomorrow. Will we get any resource? If Vidya, if you're talking about Ansible 294, so anybody who is registered with the Ansible examination, so from the Red Hat, you will get official soft copy book. Or anybody who publicly registered officially, I think they have a hard copy book. There's some kind of combinations you have. Okay. Otherwise, technically, I'm keep on sharing, right, a lot of information in my Google Docs, and that is far more than what we get in the Reddit books. So this much information, if you keep on practicing, that would be more than enough. And the second good document for you is Ansible official doc that we keep on referring here. Okay, that I think that is also more than enough. Is Anmol, the variable we are creating in the playbook is a global only, right? If you create a variable in the top, we can use anywhere. So by default, they are global only, global variables only. Yes, Abhishek, I'll definitely try to take the topic of Ansible integration with Windows. Yes, Balwinder, you can connect Ansible playbook with the audio. I'll try to take the one example how to connect the audio with the playbook. Mahima, GenMask and the NetMask is the same concept. Some tool use name GenMask and most of tool use NetMask. Yes, Siva, after this training complete, I will take a exam bootcamp for you guys after this training complete. Okay. So everybody who is registered with the exam will take the exam bootcamp. Vagala, Vagala, I might be wrong in pronunciation of your name, but examination, Ansible examination, guys, we will provide a coupon to you that has a validity of 1 year, so you can give the exam anytime in the 1 year. That will be your choice. But I recommend to give the exam of the Ansible of Red Hat after my exam bootcamp complete. Not, I don't recommend before this. Yes, Somik, we have some example class, some discussion on how to create your own custom fields. So we'll see how to create on custom fields. Do you have any way to such that register do not store the output of the skip task? uh, no, Praka is not at all depend. It's depend which task you want to skip. And guys, if you want to skip some task, not in all this while skipping, we have to use a variable. Yeah, whenever you use the register, they will store your output because we ask them to store. Okay, but this part is not at all depend. This is not interconnected. You might use other condition here. Maybe directly you can write Reddit equals to something like this. Okay. But yeah, answer is if you use register, they will store your output. Now it is your choice where you want to use y. Do you want to use in the condition? You want to print? That would be your choice. Or you don't want to use. Don't use it. Don't print this. Yes, Nikhil, you have to use this approach in idempotent task also. Okay, and very important discussion I might have to do something on the idempotence. So we might use something there. So thank you, Ayus. Somebody asked me why um, why we write when or or register after after these attributes. Guys, this is the normal way we do in just in text. But if you write in this way, it will confuse. Service module go to next line and looking for the attribute, but in the next line, guys, they won't find anything indent with the service module, so they think they don't have any module. They don't have any attributes. They register run, but after register run, second line come up and register think these two are their attributes, but they are not. Okay, so that is the reason, guys, why the way we always write in this way. So as soon as service run, next line come up because they see some indent here. So service model think these two are my attribute. And as the indent come, service model think now I don't have an attribute. This become a new keyword of my task, and task ask me to output to be stored in this variable. So we don't write in this way. For example, it's in the same logic with where also we don't write in this way. We have to write first. Sorry. You write first task name, all the attributes of the task, and finally when close or register close, or maybe some more keyword you will see in my future classes. Nishant, you don't have to refresh the classes, right? Or revise the classes. Don't worry. Okay, and this is not the right methodology, I believe, to go back again revise. Just keep on solving future classes. Keep on solving the future use cases. Automatically, you will see sometime your older concepts automatically keep on coming and automatically revise, right? So this might be sometime the wastage of the time to go back and revise the concept. I believe sometime, right? But the process is my earth. You don't have to actually go back and revise the classes. Keep on automatically coming. You'll see in my upcoming month. Okay. So guys, there might be some more examples the same way. So this will be solved, guys, in my upcoming upcoming classes, right? So that's guys. See you guys tomorrow. We'll see some more concept. Bye. Take care.